Alright, so hello, I'm Zenin, and from my Masterworks, I wanted to make skiing films like the one you just saw. When I was a little kid, I always liked being outside in nature, although when I tried skiing, I didn't really like it for the first time, but when I was in grade 6 and 7, I really started getting into it, and now that's like pretty much what I do is skiing. I wanted to do this project because I have a passion for freestyle skiing and a strong interest in making skiing edits and films. I previously had limited experience doing this, so I just wanted to expand on it. So this is Chef. They're a really big inspiration, and they create ski films in British Columbia and sometimes around the world. Their videos are my favorite because of their unique style of filming and high performance of the skiers. My ambition was to create videos utilizing some of their techniques and incorporating my own style. And before I get into it more, a little bit about the terrain park. There's many different features at different skill levels. So you can see there's that kind of square at the very top. That's a box, and then there's the wider metal ones are called tubes, and then the skinnier ones are rails, and then the ones at the bottom are jumps, and those kind of make up the terrain park. And here in my presentation, I'll be highlighting what I learned, the camera and equipment I use, some stuff about the editing software, some filming skills, some more about editing, the music, and skiers, and as well as I'll be showing some of the edits I made. Alright, so change is the end result of all true learning. For me, this meant what I learned in the process of my Masterworks has changed how I ski, or how I see and capture my favorite sport. In order to improve my editing and filming, I had to learn a lot about how to use new technology and editing software. I had to learn a lot of how to use the new cameras and some editing stuff. And upon the year, I got a lot better at editing and filming. And I was able to make 2 skiing films, one with my ski team up in Whistler, and then one with Canadian national team's Ben Lynch. He's also a part of the Chef Boyardee crew. So some technical equipment that I used would be cameras, of course my skis, and some editing software. So for filming, I chose to use a Handycam right here. And this is kind of pretty cool. It just opens, and you can film either through that lens or just look through it. Or I chose to use a GoPro connected to this thing, and it just you'd hold it and you just film. This one would be used for following the skier, and then the other one is for kind of more stationary shots. All right, so some advantages I'd say of the camera that I use would be it's an older kind of style that I really liked. It's pretty small, so you can take it kind of anywhere. And the zoom on it's really good, so you can film from multiple locations. But some disadvantages is when you're following people to film, it's super hard to get footage that's not shaky. And me and Scott took a long time to get the clips off of the computer, or off that into the computer, because it's so old. And funny story, when I was looking to buy one of these, my mom, I was looking for hours, and my mom was like, oh, I think we have one of these just in our basement. And so we got it, and yeah, they were expensive, so we just got that one for, well, I didn't have to pay anything. And yeah, so it was actually supposed to take my baby photos. That's when it was purchased for, and it was never used since. Yeah. All right, so the GoPro, some advantages, it's like really good for following the skiers. It's really stabilized, and the clips are like, they go right from to my phone after I like download them. So that's really nice. And some disadvantages is that it doesn't have any zoom on it, and like it kind of rounds out the image, so it's not very good for stationary footage. See here, like that's like kind of how it rounds out, so it looks a little bit weird when you're like standing still. But when you're like filming, it looks pretty like nice and like when you're following someone. So yeah, a little bit about the editing software that I used. Yeah, so the editing software is a fundamental piece, I think, in creating a ski film. It's like super nice to have a computer to do it on, but iPhone or any phone is also all right. I used CapCut, which is those two. Inside of CapCut, and it's free editing software that I downloaded onto my computer. It's free, and it contains a large amount of the functions that I needed to make my videos, so it was pretty nice. I tried using another editing app called DaVinci, but it was super complicated, and I didn't really know what I was doing in it, so I just went back to CapCut, and it worked just fine. Big shout out to Raw Camera, which is a store that rents out cameras to movie and commercial industry. They taught me about cameras and editing, and when I went to the shop early for a tour, they showed me like all their cameras and other equipment that they used. I went there 2 more times for help with my films, and I worked with Angelo and Marco, who were super helpful in teaching me new skills. So some editing. It's good to, oh wait, hold up, that's not right. Oh yeah, so that should be filming skills. Hold on. But so filming, it's pretty hard to film when you're going pretty fast on your skis. So you want to make sure that the skier's always in frame and that you're not shaking your hand a lot, because it like looks just like in my videos, I might shake my hand a little bit on accident, but it's super hard while you're like following to keep that, because you need to be aware of what you're doing and the other skier, especially when like I go off jumps with one of the guys in my films. It's just it's scary as well, but you got to be a little bit experienced for that as well. Yeah. It's more about editing. So what the editing process does is it allows the filmer to tell his story and helps audience understand like the action of the video. It keeps the audience more interested in the film at some parts, and the editor can highlight like key moments in a film. And yeah, the editor can also adjust colors and lighting. Yeah. When editing a video, there are a few techniques to help with the audience, like to help the audience understand what's going on in the film. When there's a fast-moving clip, you can slow down clips and like make the speed less, as well as like zoom in on far clips. Also, when a clip's super large, you can cut it down, so you don't have to use the whole thing, which is also nice. So here I have an unedited clip and then an edited clip, and you might not know the difference, or you might like the unedited better. But here we go. All right, then that's me. And then here's the edited. And yeah. So my favorite part of editing is kind of incorporating the music into edits. This is my favorite part because like it kind of sets the mood of the film, draws like the audience in. It makes it a little bit nicer to watch, and so editors like often spend time like listening to a lot of the music or the genre that they want to use, and then they'll have a big collection of music that they want to use for any videos. The music normally like matches the vibes of skiing and like the pace of the skiing, and I prefer to use rap and alternative music as I like listening to it, and I think it works well with skiing. Having high-level skiers is also pretty important, or not necessarily high level, but for the film I'm trying to make would be high level. This is because they have like a lot of really big and advanced tricks with a lot of individual style that they get throughout like years of skiing. Ben Lynch, who you're gonna see soon, has a wide variety of big tricks, and he makes like look effortless and full of flow, which is pretty cool. And yeah, location is also another big thing to have when making a film. It like adds authenticity, getting the audience kind of drawn in, whether like it's a stunning shot from the Vancouver cityscape taken from Grouse, or we have the Black Tusk taken from Whistler. Setting the tone and kind of the mood of the film. For example, like when Chef Boyardee like films at Grouse Mountain, they always like include the city because it's a really nice view from there, and it kind of inspires local skiers when they're watching. Yeah, so this is my first edit that I made in Whistler with my team. Are you like going to Zenin?
We're grabbing his bag up there, so just wait for him here, okay?
It won't. I got too big of a jacket. I know.
You sold again.
Let me see this.
Alright, we're recording, boys.
With your net or net?
Let's go to the. Have you go to the bag?
Apparently the bag's really small.
I cork separate.
Yeah.
Or maybe we cork bag today and then we try.
Yeah!
maybe. Oh, you don't hit that. Go a little bit faster.
I should do my AirPods.
Remember, pushing the hip forward, lifting the chest.
Maybe if the sun out and then not snowing anymore.
Oh my god, I'm next. What the fuck?
Speed from train.
Oh yeah, Zed.
You're spinning me around, my feet are off the ground. I don't know where I stand. See, I have to hold my hand. You mystify me, you mystify me, you mystify me. Oh, oh, when you walk into the room, it happened up so soon. I didn't want you know, does he really have to go? You mystify me. You mystify me, you mystify me.
I agree. That's some big air. Oh, it's a pretty dope.
Oh my God! I couldn't find a time to say I need you. It wouldn't come out right. It wouldn't come out right. It just came out wrong.
All right, and I have one more edit, and this one's with the Canadian skier Ben Lynch. Right here.
Everybody says I'm wrong. Said I'm dying to meet you, girl. Everybody says I'm wrong. Everybody says I'm wrong. But we keep it going on. Feelings coming on. But the bullshit got too long. Yeah. Everybody everybody says I'm wrong. To meet you. Though everybody says I'm wrong.
Stop 9, switch by 9.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Okay, drop.
Yes! Yo! In conclusion to my Masterworks, I'm very happy to have done this project and I learned a lot. I was also really happy to have met the crew from Raw Camera and felt really privileged to ski with Ben Lynch. I also want to thank Scott and Jen for being awesome advisors, and I'd like to thank my parents for all the rides up to Whistler, their camera, and the hours my mom spent helping me with my paper. My Masterworks, all these edits would not have been possible without them. Thank you.
So we are now at the question phase of the Masterworks. Mr. Youck, you have done an incredible job. And we're really glad as teachers that you left us every Friday, you and Ryder, to go up to Whistler so you could do something like that. So well done. Mr. Youck, we're going to start with questions from your advisor, and then we're going to go to questions from the floor. Students who would like to ask a question, I'm going to point to you, and you are going to come to here to ask the question, okay? So don't move here until I say that you're the one who's going to ask the question. So your advisor, Scott, has the first question.
Bravo, Mr. Youck. That was such a journey to share with you, and I just am awed by what you've been able to create here. And what I just wanted to acknowledge too is what you told us in your introduction. I could really feel that as we watched your two big edits that you made, and that sense of the editing and the timing and the music and the skiers was really, really clear. So I'm so pleased that you've had this journey. And my question is, I saw sort of two sides. You personally being inspired by Chef and being a better skier, and then you also wanting to learn the skills of editing and producing. So my question is, when it came to the editing and the filmmaking side, what was kind of the most challenging feature of that journey for you?
Probably taking off the clips from the camera.
Right, that was exquisitely painful. But we did discover some great old photos of you. Yeah, it's like, oh, there's this weird. Besides that one, was there something else about the editing and the the bringing together of all those features that was the most challenging?
Yeah, so I think For challenging, I mean, when sometimes like Ben wouldn't get the trick or I would mess up the clip, and so like he'd get it like perfectly and I'd be like, oh, I screwed up, or he wouldn't get it and I'd do like a really good job. So that, I mean, I screwed up more than him, but I think, yeah, it was like hard to get a perfect clip. And the other part is when like you make a mistake in editing and you do all this work and you have to undo it all and then redo it again. That's like, it's really frustrating and takes a lot of time. And so, yeah, I'd say those.
And then last question, as you were inspired by Chef,
Yeah.
the group that includes Ben, now that you've got this skill, do you see yourself in a position to inspire others through, you know, the learning that you've had?
Hopefully. I mean, Chef really got me into skiing. Like, I feel like when I was like looking at all their videos, I was like, oh, I really want to do that. So maybe when I'm like around their age, I can maybe do that for some other kids.
Nice. Well, you're certainly on your way.
Questions from the floor?
Mr. Youck, do you plan on taking skiing or editing into like your future career?
There's a chance. I'm not really sure what I want to do when I'm older. I haven't got a clue, so yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Thank you.
Other questions?
Mr. Youck, so I know you were into skiing a lot last year, but what made you want to do a lot of editing process with that?
I guess just watching films and edits. Like, I just got kind of drawn to it, so I wanted to make my own. Yeah.
Mr. Youck, I'm going to ask you a technical question.
Yeah.
You showed us raw video, and then you showed us the edited video.
Yeah.
Can you name the things, the techniques that you use to make that to make it a better edit?
Yeah. So I had to cut out, like for the non-edited, I did have to cut out one thing, my friend swearing. So it was a pretty long clip and it wasn't like slowed down or anything. So what I did in the edited one, like I took parts out of it, slowed it down, and I didn't do much on it, but just a little edit there. So.
I saw that you framed it too.
Oh, yeah.
What it was. And there was some slow-mo as you landed it. Pam and then Brad.
First of all, I was so blown away. That was amazing.
Thank you.
And I love the music. And because you talked about the music, I really paid attention to it in your clips. And I really, I love the Cranberry song. It was so awesome. You commented on loving being outside.
Oh, yeah.
Did this change that in any way? Like, I noticed it was often sunny. You kind of have to work with the weather, or maybe you were out in the weather. Does it change? Did it make you more connected or less connected, would you say?
I don't know. Like when I was always 6 years old, I loved going outside, hiking and all that. And I feel like it's transferred into skiing. Like I don't really enjoy that as much anymore. But now I love being up in the mountains. So.
Yeah, it's amazing, beautiful footage. And my last question, why do you call it editing and not, or an edit and not a film?
Well, I mean, you can call it both. It's not real. I like calling it edits because I also make like smaller ones for Instagram, and I just call those edits because they're just like 20 seconds. So yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay, thanks.
Our incoming head of school, Brad Carter, would like to ask the final question.
So good to meet you. It's a great way to meet you the first time. I love that last edit. That really kind of moved me. That was sort of, was that you following, is it Ben?
Yeah.
And that was you following?
Yeah.
That was beautiful. I love that motion. And what was this isn't my big question, what was the music? You can tell me after.
I can just tell you now, it was 100 by Dean Blunt. That's the song I used for it, and it was like an alternative song. I thought it fit pretty well with the edit, so yeah, I was looking for hours to try to find that song. So.
Nice. Well, I meant you can tell me later because I won't remember what you said. That's my brain.
Yeah.
But my question, I just learned to ski this winter, right? Like in February, first time. Loved it, fell in love with it. And when you were talking about your editing process, you said one of the things you try to do is help viewers understand or feel something in the film or the edit. What do you want a newbie like me to feel or understand about skiing? Because I'm hooked.
I don't know, I guess just like,
I mean,
if you really want to get into skiing, I guess, like that's like the way I kind of got into it was to watch videos. So maybe like, I don't know, just like really get in the mood for skiing, that's I think what the videos are for. So yeah.